I'm really encouraged by the efforts of Project Audience to aggregate data, specifically the research on events and arts and culture. I think it's the beginning of a conversation about how we as communities define what is arts and culture and how our citizens can be engaged in those endeavors.
It's not easy to get it in a standardized fashion, which is another thing that's really exciting about this data, is it puts a focus on standardizing, but it also says, where do we have to go to find out, how do we find out what's happening in communities that aren't necessarily putting their information in your standard kind of vehicles for delivery of listings.
We're an emerging or a promising practice in terms of research when we look at cultural policy, cultural engagement, cultural participation, the role of culture within urban and metropolitan environments. And so anything that we can do that brings more data into our databases that we can then do crosstabs on, that we can overlay, that we can combine to tell an evidence-based story. We can actually begin to show why people go. When do they go? What do they go to? What kinds of people go to what kinds of activities? And then we can reach more people and bring them into the fold, so to speak. This is data that it's not from the user's perspective, but it is more closely aligned with how a user goes and picks something.
Event information data is kind of like the last kind of wild frontier of data in terms of arts organizations and policymakers thinking smart about what the implications of that data are, because it's very difficult to track. It's transient in nature. You know, events come and go. That information's not really stored. You know, the opportunities to have data standards so that we can communicate between the different systems, all the different ticketing systems, all the different websites,